So next we will see the classification of filters. So filters are primarily used to remove the contaminants. If the size of the contaminants is less than 40 microns, the element we are trying to remove it is called as a filter. If the size of the particle is more than 40 microns, then the element we are using to remove them is called as a strainer. So generally here whatever we are discussing, whenever we say filter, it is usually used to remove the contaminants. It can be filter or it can be a strainer, but their basic operation and principles are more or less the same. So the first classification is based on the method of filtering. So how we are separating the contaminants from the hydraulic fluid. The first one is mechanical filter. So here we are actually creating a positive kind of obstruction to the flow of the contaminants. Now how will you create the obstruction? Now if you know a fluid is having a contamination particles of size say 20 microns, then we are going to put a mesh so that any particle less than that bigger than that particular size is going to be stopped. If you are having 20 micron particles, then you should put some 18 microns or 15 micron size of the mesh. Then all the particles which are up to that particular size will be stopped. So if you know that your system is very clean, then you did not go for putting a very fine mesh. You can go for a slightly larger size of the mesh. Now because you have to remember, any obstruction to the flow we are inserting into the system, it will create a pressure drop. So unnecessarily, in order to improve the very high quality of fluid, you should not use very small size of pores filter, because you are going to get higher pressure drop. So you should see what is the requirement of filtration, whether you want to have a fluid which is not having any particles less than 10 microns, 20 microns, 30 microns, 40 microns, or whatever is the requirement. Accordingly, you have to incorporate the filters. So mechanical filter means usually it will be a mesh, and the mesh is going to stop. Sometimes this mesh can be made like a grid. So three-dimensional grid also you can create, and then that you are incorporating as a obstruction to the flow, so that any contaminants are coming, they are getting stopped by that particular filtration element. Now mechanical filter, usually it will be a mesh, and on top of that particular mesh you are having all the contaminants which are collected. Now can you clean the mechanical filter? Yes, by applying a high pressure fluid or high pressure air. If you are blasting it, then all the contaminants are going to be separated. But if you are using a three-dimensional grid-like structure, and if you are using it to separate the contaminants, then it is not possible to reuse that particular filter, because cleaning them will be difficult. If you want to clean them, you have to use some chemicals and you have to treat them. That will be difficult. The next kind of filter is absorbent filter. So absorbent filter is you are having some thickness of the filter. So a three-dimensional grid. Usually it will be made up of some cotton fiber, or it will be made up of paper or any other porous material. Now in this particular porous material, when you are allowing the hydraulic fluid to flow, because of the very complicated path available to the fluid, all the contaminant particles are going to get stuck somewhere or the other. So because of which, when the fluid is coming out of the filtration element, it is going to be cleaned. So there is no reaction or chemical action that is taking place, only because of the very difficult path that is present inside the filter, the elements or contaminants are going to be separated. The next kind of filter is an adsorbent filter. Now adsorbent filter means you are placing certain chemicals in the hydraulic system as a filtration element. Now these elements will be having certain affinity to particular types of contaminants. So examples of this can be activated clay. So activated clay will try to absorb certain moisture, and it will absorb some corrosive elements. So because of which the contaminants are going to be removed. So in this case, we will not say there is a chemical reaction, but the contaminants have got some affinity, and they will come and stick to this particular filtration element. Now after this particular adsorbent material is completely coated with the contaminants, you have to take them out. Some of the cases, if you are putting some chemicals, you can clean them, and again you can reuse them. Otherwise you have to simply discard them. So this is the method of filter classification based on the method of filtering. So the next classification is based on the type or size of the pores. So whether the pores are present on the surface, or they are having a three-dimensional pattern for them. So if they are having three-dimensional pattern, we will say that it is a in-depth filter, and if the pores are present only on the surface, which means the thickness of the filtration element is very, very thin, then we'll say that it is a surface filter. Usually a mesh, what we've discussed, is an example of the surface filter. A three-dimensional grid or a cotton or a fiber filtration element will be an example of the in-depth filter, because in the in-depth filter, as the fluid is flowing through the element, the contaminants are separated, whereas in the surface filter, on the surface of the filtration element, the contaminants are separated. So you can have surface filters and you can have in-depth filter. Now surface filter means the thickness of the filtration element is very, very small, and on the top of the element, the contaminants are going to be stopped. So on the surface of the filtration unit, you are finding all the contaminants. There will be nothing inside. So the example can be a metallic mesh. So if you are having a mesh of say some size, then if the particles are larger than the mesh size, then it is going to be stuck outside on the surface of the metallic plate. And if the particles are smaller than the mesh size, they are simply going to pass through the particular filtration element. Now, is it possible to clean the filters? Yes. If you are having a surface filter, you have to take that mesh plate outside and you can do some high pressure cleaning, maybe with oil or maybe with water or some other fluid. You can remove the contaminants, and maybe it is possible to reuse that particular filtration element. So it is there only if it is a metallic one. If it is made up of some paper or some other elements, then cleaning is not possible. So you simply have to discard the filtration element. Next one is in-depth filter. So in-depth filter means all the contaminants are captured within the thickness of the filtration element. Now how does this capture within the thickness? For example, you are having a filter made up of fiber, maybe a cotton. Now you are having some thickness of the filtration element, maybe 10 mm or 2 centimeters. So for some thickness, you are having the filtration element. Now the fluid will pass through the particular filtration element. So it can pass through the cotton or it may be passing through the fiber. Now as it is passing, the pathway for the fluid is not very straight. So if you are having a mesh, you are having a hole in it and it is going straight. So it is going to come out at the other end. But if the fluid has to flow through a fiber, maybe cloth or cotton, the path is not very straight. It will be highly zigzag manner. So when the fluid is flowing in the highly zigzag manner, because of the path of the fluid, the contaminants are going to stuck at some location or the other location inside the filter. So if the filtration unit or element thickness is say some 1 centimeter. So within that particular thickness, all the contaminants are going to be collected. Now, whether it is possible to clean the filtration element? No, it is not possible to clean the filtration element. You simply have to discard it, because you cannot put any amount of pressure, since the path is also very, very difficult. How much ever pressure you may be using, it is not possible to separate the filter contaminants from the filter. So once the filter is blocked, all you have to do is you have to replace the filtration element. But if you are using a surface filter like a metallic mesh, which is having certain size of the pores, then it may be possible to use some high pressure and we can clean the surface and we can reuse that particular filter. Now, which is having higher capacity? Now, what is the meaning of capacity of a filter? So here, whenever we say capacity of the filter, it means how much of contaminants it can clean. For example, you are having two filters. One filter can continuously function as long as it is collecting say 500 grams of contaminant. Other filter can function up to say it is collecting 250 grams of contaminants. Once the 250 grams is collected, the filter will be completely blocked. So it will not allow any flow of fluid because all the paths are completely closed by the contaminants. Now if you are seeing that among the two, so depth filters, in-depth filters have got higher dirt holding capacity than the surface filters. Now question is why? Because the depth filters, throughout their thickness, whatever is there, it is able to hold the different types of contaminants. So but they require higher pressure for operation. Why they require higher pressure for operation? Because the fluid is not flowing in a straight line. It is flowing in a zigzag manner. Because of the pressure losses, so you have to supply at higher pressure so that the fluid which is coming out of the filtration unit will be having the required pressure. Surface filters, once the surface is blocked, there is no more possibility of having any filtration, so it will be completely choked. Now there are amount of pressure loss in case of the surface filter is on the lower end.
So you don't require much of supply pressure to operate the or to do the filtration of the particular system. So this is the classic types of the filters according to the size of the pore, or we will say according to the type of the pores that are present. Next one is percentage of fluid filter. Now there are two types actually. One is full flow, other one is proportional flow filter. Now what is full flow filter? Now the filter, as we have seen in the symbols, it is having one inlet and one outlet, which means contaminated fluid is coming from one side, then it is passing through the filtration element, which means the mesh or some fiber, then it is going out of the filter. So when it is going out of the filter, the contaminants are almost all removed from the fluid and only clean fluid is going out. Now when we say full flow filter, which means that whatever fluid is entering into the filter, that is passing through the filtration element, then only we say that it is a full flow filter. When we say full flow filter, all the fluid is passing through the filtration element. When we say proportional filter, only some amount of the fluid is passing through the filtration element, other fluid is not passing through it. The next one is proportional flow filter. Proportional flow filter means only certain amount of the fluid that is entering into the filter is being cleaned. Other fluid is simply passing through without going into the filtration element. Now this is a simple sketch for the proportional flow filter. Now this is the main part. So this will be the inlet to the filter, this will be the outlet to the filter. Now what happens over here? Now the fluid can simply pass like that without going into the filtration element. It can simply it can pass through. Now here you are having a converging cone and you are having a diverging cone, and in the middle, in the nose region, you are having a pipe which is going inside the filter, and it is closed at both the ends. Now what happens when the fluid is flowing? So when the fluid is flowing here, because of the convergent cone, the velocity is going to increase and the pressure at this particular point will be minimum. So when the pressure is less here and the pressure is more here, then what happens? In the inside region of the filtration unit, there will be a low pressure created. Now because of this low pressure, the fluid will be sucked through this particular bypass path. So some amount of fluid will be sucked here and it is passing through the filtering element, and then it is coming into the middle portion. From there it is rising upwards and it is mixing with the original fluid and it is going out of the filter. Now how much amount of fluid is passing through the filtration element? So some amount of fluid will only come here. Now how much amount? So the amount of fluid that is passing through the filtration element is dependent on the size of the nose cone here or the size of the convergent cone. How much of pressure is created? If a lot of low pressure is created, then almost all the fluid is going to pass through the filtration element. If the pressure drop here or the amount of low pressure created is very, very small, then only a little amount of fluid is going to pass through the filter. So this is a fixed type of proportional flow filter, which means based on the configuration of this venturi or the nozzle here, the amount of fluid that is being filtered is going to be determined. So there is no question of having any changes possible here. But if you are having some valve which is trying to open and closing this particular opening, then it is possible to control how much of the fluid is going to be filtered. Now question is where you are going to use a full flow filter and where you are going to use a proportional flow filter. Usually at the suction pipe or at the return pipe where you want to supply or where you want to receive clean fluid, you are going to use a full flow filter. So whatever the pipe you are connecting to the pump suction line, there you are using a full flow filter because you want to remove all possible contaminants that is entering into the system. So all the fluid has to pass through the filtering element, then only you are going to allow it to enter into the system. Now whatever fluid is coming from the system and it is entering into the tank, that also you want to ensure that you are using a full flow filter and removing all possible contaminants so that whatever fluid is there in the tank, it is relatively cleaner. The next one is a bypass or proportional flow filter. Now where you want to use this one? Now if you are having a very long hydraulic system or a very big hydraulic system, as the fluid is flowing through the different piping elements and different valves, they are continuously collecting some contaminant or the other. So you are using this proportional flow filter near certain elements where you feel that there is a likely chance of having some contamination. So wherever you feel that some amount of filtration is necessary, you are going to use a proportional flow filter. The next classification is based on the location of the filter. So location of the filter means there are mainly three locations. One is at the inlet, other one is at the return line, and the third one is at the anywhere in between the system. So now if you take inlet or inline filter, which means you are having the pump one inlet is connected to the tank. So whenever the pump is started, because of the low pressure created inside the pump, the fluid is entering from the reservoir, it is flowing into the pump. Whenever we say inlet filter or intake filter, the filter is present at the suction line or before the pump. Now whether it is a full flow filter or proportional flow filter, it will be a full flow filter. Now what about the pressure or what about the construction of the particular filter? Whether it is under very high pressure, whether it is under very low pressure, what happens inside the filter? Now this filter has to withstand only a very moderate amount of pressure. Now what is this moderate amount of pressure? So when the pump is operating, some amount of low pressure is created on one side, and the other side you are having the atmospheric pressure which is acting. So whatever the difference is there, that much force only the filtration element has to withstand. So you don't require very heavy construction of the particular filter. Now another issue we have to consider is what happens with the life of the particular filter. Now as the filter or hydraulic system is continuously operating, the contaminants are going to block the different openings present in the filter, which means the filtration is trying to remove the dust particle, so it is going to close the several holes present. As the filter is continuously in operation, more and more holes are going to be closed. And after at a certain interval of time, if you are not cleaning the filter or you are not replacing the filter, what happens is this filter will be completely blocked, which means even though the pump is starting and it is trying to operate, no fluid is entering into the pump because the filter is going to be blocking the flow of the fluid. Then in that case, what happens is there is a chance of atmospheric air entering into the hydraulic system. So periodical maintenance and cleaning of the filter is very, very important for such an intake filter, and it is always under a very moderate pressure. There is no much pressure acting. So the filtration element need not have very high strength. It can be made up of a fiber, it can be made up of some paper, or it can be made up of a metallic mesh also. So no pressure acting on the filter is very, very less. Next one we'll see the return line filter. Now return line filter, again whatever fluid that is coming out of the system, that is passing through the filter and then it is coming into the tank. Now what about the pressure acting on the filtration element here? Now whatever the system pressure is there, that is coming out here, so there will be some amount of pressure which is acting on the filtration unit, and then it has to flow through the filter and then it has to come into the tank. Now if the filter is blocked, then also it is dangerous. In all the cases, if the filter is blocked, it is going to create lot of problems. Now since here the filter is there here and you are having the actuator, from the actuator some fluid is coming out, it should be having enough pressure to pass through the filtration unit. If it is not having sufficient pressure, then the fluid will not flow. There will be reverse pressure or reverse loading created on the pump. So you have to always be careful that the filter is properly functioning, so that with very little amount of energy in the fluid, it will be able to pass through the unit and it is going to enter into the tank. So here also the amount of pressure is very, very moderate here, but it is more than the inlet filter. So whatever the strength of the filtration element is there, it has to be slightly on the higher side, because the system pressure, sometimes it may be operating in full. So the filter should be able to withstand the system pressure in some rare cases. Otherwise, most of the time, it is slightly above the atmospheric pressure. So if it is having moderate strength, then it is okay. Next one is the pressure line filter. Now pressure line filter is, it is present in between the system after the pump. Now when the filtration unit is present after the pump, what happens? Whatever the force that is or pressure that is created by the pump, the entire pressure is acting on the filtration element here. So if you are having a filtration element made up of say a fiber, or it may be made up of say some cloth materials, or maybe made up of paper, then it may happen that the pressure from the pump is acting on the filtration element here, and it may simply tear away the filter. So that is a danger available here. But when the filter is in operation and it is opening and it is allowing the fluid to flow through it, the pressure on both sides will be more or less same. So whatever pressure on one side is there, the same pressure will be there on the other side, but with some losses, maybe 3 bar or 4 bar loss of pressure will be there. But the net force acting on the filtration element here will be on a higher side as compared to the other two elements. So whenever the filter is present here, it has to withstand the full pump of pressure. The filter should be designed accordingly. Otherwise, there is a chance that the filtration element will simply tear away and all the contaminants are going to flow into the system. So any filter which is used after the pump in the hydraulic circuit, that will be a pressure line filter, which means it has to withstand the entire supply pressure generated by the pump. So these are the three main types of filters based on their location. All the three types of filters are there. Most of the times, the pressure line filter can be a proportional flow filter. The inlet line and return line filter are usually a full flow filter because they want to keep the system clean from all the contaminants.